For this assignment, I interviewed Andrea Futrell, who is a court designated worker for the court systems that I live at. She currently has a bachelor's degree in social work. During her time in college, she did internships with Adult Protective Services as well as Child Protective Services. During that time frame, she found out that she did not enjoy all the factors that were involved in both APS and CPS, and was able to talk to one of the individuals she did an internship through and found out about the court designated worker program. She currently is a court designated specialist, which you must have a bachelor's degree in social work or other related fields to be able to be a specialist, in which she is a supervisor for multiple surrounding counties, including the county that I live in. Her job duties entailed not really what I thought as first is handing out punishment or anything else like that upon juveniles, but she works directly with the court systems to find out if a juvenile gets in trouble. She then brings the family in as well as the juvenile. She talks to them all together, and then she talks to the juvenile separately. And at that point, she starts figuring out what exactly is the issue that may have caused a crime to be committed, such as theft or anything else. And during that time frame, she notes it all down, and then she starts looking at all the resources that are available to assist not only that child, but also the family at the same time. So she deals a lot with multiple different agencies and programs to help juveniles get back on the right track and to help families deal with the legal issues that may have arisen because of whatever issue the juvenile was facing at the time. The one thing that she found fulfilling about working as a court designated worker is being able to help those kids out. Because a lot of times, as she told me, is not everyone comes from a family background that their parents or grandparents or anybody else that they're living with is directing them in a positive way. So this allows her the opportunity to help them and to help families out that, whether it be single parents or any other struggles that they're having, she has the resources and programs available to point them in the right direction. And she can, through the court systems, can stall some of the legal issues that they may be having. They can divert it, and that way there is no immediate financial or legal strains at that time. Some of the challenging things that she talked about as her time as a court designated worker is sometimes you're dealing with kids who want help, but their families are not willing to go that extra mile to help them out. They don't take them to the appointments that they need to go to. They don't take them to see therapists or come back and see her as a court designated worker. And then you got a child who is already gotten in trouble, but now is struggling and getting into more because now they're saying that their family doesn't care while she is attempting all the time to help them out. And it also flips to the other side as well. You have families that really want to help out their kids, and then these juveniles that don't really want to help themselves. So the most challenging thing she has is you can try to help everybody that you can, but it's at the end of the day, if they don't want help, and that's something that's hard to catch on, is there are people out there, parents and children alike, that do not want any help. So it's hard to work around that. Some of the stuff that she does to continue professional growth here in Kentucky doesn't require court designated workers to do any continuing education. Because of that, there is required training they have to go to each year. So she goes through the required training each year to stay up to date on everything. And from there, she once again works with a lot of other programs and agencies. So to continue her education or growth in the field, she reaches out to these, whether it be law enforcement agencies or talking to the judges or to the prosecutor, county attorney. She talks to them, try to find out what the trends are, what they can do to further help these kids out, these families out. She looks up new programs that are available, see what they can offer, and continue to make sure that she's up to date on everything that is needed to continue to help these families and children out. One of the biggest recommendations that she had as we were talking, which we talked quite a bit, is it's a hard field to get into, especially social work. As I informed her, I was trying to get my bachelor's in psychology. She told me that social work is definitely a hard field to get into. One of the biggest things that she told me, having a daughter herself, is that at times, this is not a job that you get into just to get into it. You got to be willing to help people, which she is. And she said that at times she started to realize that she was helping other families and kids more than she was helping her own. So that's one thing that she definitely made aware to myself, is that you've got to learn a balance. We want to help people, but we can't allow that to extend to a point that we ourselves are no longer participating in our own families, because then we're just repeating the cycle that continues. So, that was one of our biggest recommendations, is just understanding your limits, understanding that not everybody wants to be helped. Not everyone wants help. No matter how much you want to help them and you provide them with the resources, they're not just going to want it. And that's a hard fact to face, as well as knowing when to stop work and go home and be with your own family. Because as you care so much and you want to see these kids succeed or these families succeed, then that starts to eat up your own personal time. With that being said, that's just some of the recommendations that she provided. Like I said, we talked a while on different things, and I learned quite a bit about the court designated worker program here in Kentucky. It's a little bit different than what I was expecting. Like I said, she did her internship with both Adult Protective Services and Child Protective Services, and found that she didn't like all the aspects to it. But the court designated worker allows her to work at the courthouse while still helping everybody out that she wanted to help out, that she was able to do during her internship at Child Protective Services. So definitely have learned a lot of valuable information, all kinds of different resources that they can provide, and it has been a great learning experience.